5 minutes, 2 minutes?
I got your bio, so I'll introduce you just as guests, you know, and then before you speak, I'll speak your bio.
Good morning. Matthew, can you hear me back there? Can you hear me?
Always.
Just not listening. Yeah, you just ignore me. Ross, Ross, 2 times in about a month and a half here, man. Thank you.
I hope you've done a good job the first time.
Yeah, you did. So Ross is going to give our invocation, and Ross, just loud enough where they can hear you on the mic.
Okay, I'll try to talk loud enough. Please bow your heads for the invocation. Blessed are you, Lord of creation. You feed the whole world with your goodness, your grace, your mercy, and your kindness. You nourish and sustain us and do good to all. Bless this food to our use and to your Rotary service. Amen. Lee Jordan, join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In 4-way test, for all we think, say, and do.
Is the truth, is fair to all concerned, will fulfill goodwill of every prejudice, will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you, Ross. Brad, don't sit down yet.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have Brad give our Sergeant at Arms report.
All right, we have 21 members in person. We have 9 on Zoom, unless someone joined after I missed it. And we have 2 guests this morning, Terry and Scott Moore, who are going to be, Terry's going to be our speaker this morning.
Yeah, I do want to make a special announcement. We have one of our honorary members here who is one of the founding members of this club. So, Don, if you want to stand up for a second, I don't know if everybody has met Don. Welcome back, Don. So, a quick announcement, we are going to be moving locations again. So there was some discussion with Tony Villiers about going back to the Henry, and that does not look like a viable option for them. So Tony asked me to be kind to him, and I would say, how could we be anything but kind to them? Because they have subsidized our meetings for years and years and years, meaning they did it at a loss for us to meet there. So the current environment, which y'all all know this environment, will not allow them to facilitate us anymore because they're hosting breakfasts and they're doing it, for individual people in that ballroom. And then they also need to have that space available at all times when people start coming back. So in discussions, Lisa and I talking with them, it was cost prohibitive. You guys would not have liked what I would have had to do to the dues to get us back into Henry. So our board started a search a couple of weeks ago in light of the June 1st change of our mandate, and we are going to be going to Starmount. So Starmount was a former home for this club. They host a Rotary group. They host a Kiwanis group. So
He's at Starmount.
Yes, that's right. So he's at Starmount.
So I'm good.
So we, a lot of us are members there. It's a great location, great facility. They've got plenty of parking. So starting June 1st, we will be hosting our meetings there. Okay, so I'll send out an email kind of explaining to everybody. The cost allows us to not raise dues, which is a good thing. I thought it was a certainty that we would have to, but we don't. We're also, in light of the June 1st mandate going away, if it all hashes out, we're going to reinstate dues for everybody. So the restriction and the need to not charge people to allow them to stay at home is going away. So to get our club back on sound financial footing and hold these meetings, we're going to reinstate dues June 1st. That's all I had to say about that. I did look at some statistics. In May 9th, we had 280 deaths, and that is the lowest single day number since March 26th. That's for the nation. So I thought I would share that with all of y'all. I mean, it's a great statistic because really that's why we did this, is to keep people from dying. So that trend has gone down and looks like we're about to say goodbye to the pandemic. So I kind of jumped ahead of you, Rick. So if you could come up close to the mic, if you want to do our birthdays and anniversaries, we got 2 weeks to go, or 2 weeks to now.
Yes, sir. Got several here today, Mr. President, because I have missed the meetings, and so got a couple of run throughs. That's okay. Back to the 5th, we have a club anniversary of a guy that's almost always here, and he is not here today. Where is Mr. Chip Person?
He's probably celebrating.
Probably celebrating. That must be what it is. Yeah, club anniversary. And before I pass on club anniversaries, Mr. Ray was not here with us a few weeks ago when we had our special recognition of all of our founding members. But Don Ray, thank you again for being with us, and thank you for being one of our founding members here at Yates City Rotary Club. We have some member birthdays in the past, but we didn't recognize them, and I know one of them is here today, Miss Danielle Aiken, and we're asking how many, of course, we have people to avoid that, although I'm pretty sure it's like only 2.
I'll go with that.
We'll just go with that, yeah. And we have wedding anniversary. Boy, May must be a great month to be getting married, because we got some. James Pegram. There he is. And you had an anniversary on the 4th?
Yes.
I believe it was. How many was that, James?
37.
37. All right, way to go. Nice, nice. Rob Mitchell. See, Rob. He and Susan had an anniversary on the 30th of 30 years. So another really great one there. David Lillard. Hey, there he is. I think you and Nikki had a wedding anniversary on what, 5th?
The 5th?
All right, how many was that?
14.
Nice, sweet. And here, Mr. Rabundo, I believe that you and Carrie had one on
Saturday.
15.
Coming Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. How many
Black
you
Cat,
get? Yeah.
21. 22.
I don't know. You were there. I remember
22, baby.
Whatever you say, buddy.
You have to go back to shipments now.
Yeah, really. Okay, don't get that recording. Carrie might be watching.
I'll dump that out.
And Kelly
I know
Harrell.
better than she does.
Hey, Kelly Harrell, had one on the 16th. Did Kelly not here?
He's online.
There he is, there he is. And I can never remember his wife's name. What is that? It's Kelly. There we go. All right. And as part of our club service, we always give a heads up for all of you guys that have some anniversaries coming up. So there's no excuse of forgetting anything. Let's see, we got Chris Neal.
10 years.
Coming up. Don't forget. Judy Brimley. Is Judy online with us? No. All right. She and Danielle and Todd, you got one coming up next week? No? Yeah. All right. Don't forget. And Cooper Trotter. All right. So no excuses. You guys got a fair warning. You got coming next week. So don't forget. And you know, it's like Grandpappy Lewis always said. I don't know what Grandpappy Lewis said. You know what Grandpappy Lewis said? Ask his grandbaby out there. Yeah, by the way, y'all know Buster always was referred to in the Grandpappy Lewis family as the baby of the family, which was odd because he was the oldest grandchild. No, think about it. That's it, Mr. President.
It's a deep dive. Chris, by the way, 10 is a big one, right? So that involve like some jewelry or something?
I was gonna say, it's never planned here, right?
I forgot. It's been a long time.
You can 21.
21, 22 years ago,
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody likes that.
So we do have our Changing the Guard event coming up. Not at all looking forward to that. It is June 23rd, which is a Wednesday. So I'm going to announce this every meeting. I know somebody's probably going to show up on a Thursday evening at Starmount anyway. It is at Starmount Country Club. We will be sending out a sign up probably in the next couple of weeks or so, just to get a head count beforehand.
What was that date?
It's the last Wednesday. Tom, you want to make any announcements yet about the fundraiser? I heard it was a great event. You weren't here last week. So.
I hate I wasn't here last Thursday. I'll have a happy dollar about that, but all of the bills have been paid. We know what, we covered the expenses, and it was a fantastic day. I can't thank Kelly enough. I think I've sent him a half dozen emails thanking him. And I have one gift left for Christy Milhall, and a friend of hers won that basket right there. Not everybody got to win, but a lot of our club members won some of the raffle prizes, and we had a blast. There's pictures on Facebook, on Gail's had a lot of good pictures, and so did Kelly. You can see what you missed if you weren't there. It's a lot of fun.
Let's give Tom a round of applause. Great job, last minute planning, a lot of uncertainty. You know, nobody likes to work their tail off for nothing, so great job getting it done.
I had a lot of help.
Yeah, you know, kudos to Lisa. I mean, Lisa, it really was your fundraiser too, doing a lot of the work last year and then carrying it over. And Danielle obviously helped them a good bit too. So great job, guys.
The good thing is Tom's still living.
Yeah.
So we just about killed him.
Now y'all should all have me right on.
He took a recuperatory fishing trip, so he's great now.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of fishing, Matt, do you have an announcement about service?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. May 29th, I sent out an email yesterday. I'll be sending them out more and more, so make sure you got the date right. It is Memorial Day weekend. It's the best I can do. I'm sorry. I'm, Flame Chris was telling me about it, because up until yesterday morning, I had no idea, but, hey. So we're gonna be changing out deck boards at what they call the caboose run. I'm not sure what that is. It probably has something to do with caboose. So that's what we have for now. If we get enough people like last time, I'm sure we'll trickle out and do a couple other small projects that they need help with, and that's it. But thank you.
Yeah, and if y'all need to carpool because you've run out of gas, Brad and I will drive you over. It is very fortuitous to buy an electric car right before gas shortage, so I had to throw that one in. With that, we'll welcome back Mr. Lewis and do our happy dollars. Welcome back, Buster.
First of all, let me say, I know y'all been cheating on me with Bobby. And I hear it all. Oh, Bobby's so funny. Bobby's so cute. Bobby doesn't make us pay our happy dollars. But, Bobby's not here today. So. All right, happy dollars. Is Bobby still there? I saw him a little while ago.
Yeah. There he is.
Bobby Steve, what's up? There he is. All right. Tom.
I'll do mine. Last Thursday, I thought we were going trout fishing the Saturday after the fundraiser. And my friend from Pinehurst called me and said, no, it's Thursday. So I was like, okay, we have to reserve this place. It's called Cedar Springs, and it's a trophy private stream. It's 2 miles. The smallest trout they put in there is 2 pounds, which is a big trout. And there's some monsters in there. So we fished that morning and done real well fishing together. And I brought cameras and stuff, but after lunch and all, I left everything in the car and I took my waders off, had my tennis shoes on, and there's a big hole up at the top. Everybody fishes it. They get pressured all day. So a lot of people had left, and I snuck up there real stealth-like, and I caught a monster. I mean, this fish, he had jumped all over the place. And I get him in, and I'm like, I don't even have a camera. Everybody's downstream by then. And so he looks at me and says, well, if you'll let me go, I promise you'll have a great fundraiser. I went, the fundraiser was last Saturday. He said, was the weather nice? I said, yeah. He said, told you so. He confused me so bad. I just let him go. And I went downstream, and my friend was down there, and he said, yeah, did you get any pictures? I said, no, the cameras are all in the car and everything. I said, but he knows I caught him, and I know I caught him. Everything's good. And most of that story's true.
Dr. I'll show you the Venmo.
Okay, all right.
So we can, yes. So on the same theme of fishing, Mr. Foster brought me fishing last week.
You get one fish, and it doesn't stop.
So
One more than you?
he is a very competitive fisherman, which means when you catch the bigger fish, you have to stand up and say it in front of everybody, right? So thank you, Matthew, for bringing me fishing. Caught a, I guess, what, 4-pound bass? If we were talking ounces, that would have been yours. Anyway, caught a 4-pound bass. Matthew brought me fishing. He put me on the fish. So, I mean, most of the credit goes to him. So, and I did take a picture. So I have proof. Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, my God. I've got a heavy butt just for this tall fishtail over here.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
there you go.
I love the way you caught the big one, you know, but where's the camera? Oh, darn, just left that one. So,
Well, I did have a happy dollar. You know, a couple of months ago, I guess I sent out an email with my daughter's resume, and a lot of y'all responded. I'm very thankful, but Danielle, she just made y'all all look terrible. She said, if your daughter finds a job on the Cone Health website, you tell me about it. Danielle personally handed the resume to the person who needed to see it. She talked to Chelsea on the phone, coached her about what was going to be going on, and Chelsea was so appreciative and delightful. Thank you. It's what Rotary's all about, so thank you. All right, so Grandpappy got pulled over by the cops, and policeman said, well, sir, I pulled you over because you were speeding. And Grandpappy said, officer, I was just trying to keep up with traffic. And the officer said, well, there is no traffic. He said, I know, that's how far behind I am.
Thank you, Buster. It's good to have you back. And I will say this, if Bobby's not listening, I prefer you.
No, I prefer Bobby.
So Brad's going to introduce our speaker.
Yep. All right, morning, everyone. So Terry Moore is a member of GMA with me, so we met a few weeks back, and she's got a little talk for us today. Terry is a certified breakthrough vision coach with a goal of helping getting you out of your past. So she's going to talk about some of that today. And she brings her experience as an author, a conference leader, workshop leader, and former executive director of a domestic violence crisis center that she started, right, in Indianapolis. So a great deal of experience and on vision and setting, and she does some personal business coaching and a lot of work in the domestic violence area. So thanks for coming today, getting up early, and the floor is yours. And just wink at David and he'll hit your slides for you.
Okay. Whoop, I can't see that. I have to come out here a little bit, that's gonna mess you up. All right, sounds great. Welcome. Thank you for having me. And I am going to talk about the vision-driven leader. Who in here needs more vision in your business? All right. What is the definition of vision? The definition of vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. A picture you can see in your mind right now. We need a brighter future. You know, COVID-19 really hit a lot of our businesses, right? I know for me as a coach and a speaker, things went down very quickly because women and men, they were losing their jobs. They couldn't afford to hire me any longer. And then as far as speaking engagements, I had like 10 lined up. Some of them were paid. And unfortunately, the event managers were calling me and canceling because of COVID. I'm now rebuilding my business, especially out in North Carolina now. Leaders cannot afford to be reactionaries. Leaders must be visionaries. People are looking to us for hope, faith, and comfort. Visionary leaders need to charter a path between where they are and where they ultimately need to get to recover from the pandemic. Do you feel like you're starting to recover from the pandemic and building your business back up? That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Leaders need to be ensured that something better is possible and that we are moving in that direction. No matter what the current reality is, a better future is possible. All right. What could be holding you back from being a great visionary leader? So I'm going to share my backstory. My backstory is and when I'm speaking from my scars and not my wounds. I was raised in a very dysfunctional family. I had 2 alcoholic parents. I had a brother who bullied me. And then in kindergarten, I had a 5-year-old come to me and strip me of my self-confidence within a matter of 5 minutes after entering the first day of independence in kindergarten. He said all kinds of negative things. However, I was unfortunate enough that he carried it all into the rest of the years because our names were spelled with the first name and we were in homeroom together and he just traumatized me every single day. Do you know that between 5 years old and 7 years old, that's when your self-confidence is starting to become shaken? So basically, fast forward, when I was 27 years old, I met a man that I thought was going to be my forever husband. We were blissfully in love, and he told me that he had been Marine Corps for 9 years, but actually on my own finding, I found out that he was actually in prison for first-degree murder. You talk about your world just shattering like glass. My whole world instantly changed. And unfortunately, because he told me he'd kill me and my family, I had to stay with him and get beat up every single day. And to the point I couldn't even recognize myself in the mirror. Fast forward a little bit more, after our divorce was final, 3 days after that, I went to a shopping center because I wanted to make myself feel better. And a man approached me with a knife and backed me into my car and attempted to rape me as well as steal my money. Now, however, long story short, that was the most beautiful day of my life because that's the day that I found God. I never worshiped God. I never went to church. And I turned my life over to him. And I've been faithfully walking with him now for 33 years. He saved my life. And on top of that, I sent a man to prison for 30 years because I was determined I was not going to allow him to do anything else to another woman. On top of all this, I became an alcoholic. I became a drug dealer, and I became a #1 female pool hustler in the state of Indiana because I wanted to cope. It was a coping mechanism, so I went to this bar that kind of like Cheers. Everybody knew my name. And when I say all this, you know, it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here today alive, but I'm standing here strong, and I am standing here as the unstoppable woman. So what could be holding you back? Well, obviously, all this is holding me back from my past that I just shared. But if we're not making peace with our past, and some people don't even know that they're still stuck in their past, that's where I come in as a coach, and I help people uncover all the areas and the emotional triggers to help them illuminate their inner power so they can reach their highest potential. Now, some of you in the audience may be struggling with some of these because rejection is a very big trigger for salespeople and business owners, as well as self-sabotaging. Business owners are really great at self-sabotaging ourselves, aren't we? So the other thing is if we're struggling with things in our past, that's going to cause insecurity, which will slow down our productivity, as well as lacking confidence. Now, this is a big one that I uncover when I am talking to business owners, is the fear of the past or the fear of the future. Let me explain that. Fear of the past means you don't want to dive into making peace with your past because you're very comfortable where you are. Well, I went on a journey over 25 years ago to find out who I truly was. And it was scary. But boy, I tell you what, I loved the person that was coming out because that person before her was living the lies that people were telling me about myself. That's why I could never move forward in my business or anything else because I had those people telling me lies such as, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you can't do that, nobody's going to want you. And you kept hearing that. I don't know if anybody in this audience can relate to that. I'm not going to ask for any hands to go up, so don't worry. Okay. How vision can help you. Vision keeps us from jumping into either the wrong opportunity or the wrong strategy. It gives us the courage to take risks and make important decisions without having all the facts, okay? So I want to stop here real quick. Vision is vitally important to the forward movement of your success in life and business. I want to share real quick. No, anyway, go ahead, Dave, sorry. So what are your strengths and weaknesses? Do you know them? Have you done a SWOT analysis? That means strengths, weaknesses, opposition, and threats. What are your victories? Now, as business owners, I know for me, sometimes I look too much at what went wrong and not what did not go right. Sorry, did not say that right. What are your victories? You have to bring in your victories more than your failures. Okay? What are your 2021 goals? Do you have them written down? Please, this is May. Please, if you don't have your goals written down for 2021, please write them down and have them where you can see them. Now, what are your challenges? What are your challenges in business? And are you saying positive affirmations daily? If you have a team and you have workers under you, you never know why they're saying the things they are. Next slide. I am a visionary. I had no idea. Somebody would have told me over 13 years ago that I would be an executive director of a domestic violence organization, as well as a certified empowerment coach, a breakthrough coach, national speaker, and best-selling author with my book, Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. I would have told you you're absolutely crazy. Because 12 years ago, when I opened Beacon of Hope, I had no idea I was going to have to public speak. Just didn't budget it. I was petrified of public speaking. And this is how we can grow as people. Now I'm a national speaker. Okay, so here's another one. Prayed for my husband. This one, Scott. Not my first one. And I visualized my husband in. I visualized him in. And 7 hours later, that prayer was answered. 7 hours. And we've been married now for almost 27 years. So it's critical to keep your vision alive. Now, we moved from Indiana to North Carolina in October, but this was a 2-year dream that my husband and I were visualizing in, and we had no idea where we were going to live. But, funny story real quick is that my girlfriend called me that lives in Raleigh, and she said, I just got back from Greensboro. And she said, that place has it going on. And so I watched Andy Griffith that night. Yeah, I love Andy Griffith. And Barney was going out with this girl named Lydia. And what happened was, Barney asked her, where do you live? And she says, Greensboro. Okay. Now, I watched a Hallmark movie that night. And the lady coming in from New York was actually heading her way into Greensboro, North Carolina. What did I do? What do you think I did? I'm a visionary. I went out and told my husband, I know where we're moving. We're moving to Greensboro, North Carolina. All right, next slide, please. So my focus area for 2021 is to empower individuals to change their life. Now, if you see on the left side, that's my car. That's my car I got in February. And I visualized that car in. And when we went to dealerships and they were trying to take me over to red cars and black cars, I said, no, I want a blue car. And so anyway, that is my car. Now, what has been so cool is because I've been able to move that car off of my vision board and put it on my victory board. So if you have a vision board, please make sure that you have a vision board, a victory board, because what happens, you can move that off of there and move it onto your victory board, and you're going to see the progress, and that's going to keep you motivated. Now, this isn't my entire vision board, but I've got the square there because that's my focus area. So how am I going to empower individuals? 1, I'm going to be speaking more. 2, I'm going to be selling more books. 3, I'm going to be doing conferences. 4, I'm going to do more personal coaching and workshops. That's going to get me to my focus area. And my theme for the year is dream big. A business owner should always have a theme for the year. Doesn't need to be 5 or 6 words, it just needs to be a couple words. Thank you, David. So vision board training, this is where people get lost sometimes with vision boards. People think that they just need to slap things all over their vision board. No, that's not true, because you can set yourself up for failure that way. So when I teach the vision board training, we want to keep it simple. I want people to find pictures of what they like to do and what they want to accomplish, and empowerment words, because those empowerment words are going to move you forward. Now, you know, I always say to my clients, use tape, do not glue it down, because you won't be able to move it off there and onto your victory boards without ripping it. Don't overload it with pictures, like I just said. Only put things up there you want to do, okay? Next, please. Be fearless. Have a vision. Believe in yourself. Always hustle. Stay focused. Get out there. Get motivated and get inspired. I want to go back to the vision. This vision, every time I share this, sends goosebumps up my spine. Has anybody heard of Casting Crowns Christian Band in here? People are shaking their head. Okay. Well, I was in my staff meeting with my domestic violence organization, and then all of a sudden everything just stopped. And I had this picture in the boardroom, and it said vision. And all of a sudden, I told my staff, I said, "Oh my gosh, I just had a vision." And they go, "Uh-oh." And I said, Casting Crowns is going to come to the Pepsi Coliseum in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm going to be sharing the stage with them and speaking in front of 6,000 people, and you're all going to get to meet them behind the stage, and they're going to raise about $25,000 for us that night. And you know what? I was like, oh my goodness. So, you know, sometimes with your vision, you got to put things into action, right? So I emailed the band manager, and so I didn't hear back from her. So I kind of just, you know, went on about my day. And then all of a sudden I got a call from their production manager. And he said, I just met you with your favorite band the other night. I said, really? Who was that? Because I thought he was just a solicitor. And he said, Casting Crowns. And I said, okay, now you got my attention. And next thing I know, to make a long story short, I stood on stage and shared the stage with Casting Crowns, speaking in front of 6,000 people. We raised $25,000 that night. My staff, my friends got to meet Casting Crowns in person, and it was a beautiful, beautiful night. So everything I visualized in that one certain day, it all came to reality. And that just blows my mind today. And I love Casting Crowns. Next slide, please. Okay. If you need help breaking through your past, or you would like vision coaching training, please let me know. I offer a 30-minute discovery Zoom call in person, and it's absolutely free. And that way you can start discovering your true, authentic self and stop listening to the lies that your mom, your dad, your relatives, ex-spouses have told you all your life. If you like a copy of my book, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. And I will be able to give you the link to get on there. So I really appreciate this time. Go high, dream big, and you're going to excel like you've never been before in 2021. Thank you so much.
Sarah, you have time for questions if you want to answer.
Yeah, I'm just putting this down. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
When you met this now husband, how much background research did you do?
I did thorough. I didn't do a background check per se, you know, like legally. But when we started liking each other, I asked him tons of questions, and he couldn't figure out why I was asking these questions. So we're driving around, and I said, "Okay, have you been in prison before? Have you ever been in jail? Have you?" He's just shaking his head. And he's a very good Christian man, and I'm very fortunate to have him. So thank you for that question. And you're probably wondering, do I ever talk to my ex-husband? No.
Do you have a pool table?
Oh, we have one in our apartment complex. Would you like to play?
I will not.
I was,
No,
that's what I was gonna ask, do you still play pool?
I do. I don't play for money though. No.
Like
Maybe,
competitively?
maybe gift cards.
But I do beat her, so I have my background too.
Any other questions?
So we have one last task for you here. We have a raffle. It's a Queen of Hearts raffle. If you could draw a ticket for me, please.
I don't have to read the ticket number, do I?
I'll read it for
I
you.
don't have my glasses on.
All right, last three numbers are 126.
Oh.
She don't know.
She bought it
Hear my card? That would be awesome.
All right, guys, thank you for having me. So we have two more meetings here, and then we're moving to Star Map. So don't forget, show up here in 3 weeks. Have a great week. Terry, I'm gonna